Good to go?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we're recording?
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for joining me for the first episode of Lean Business. Through this series, we're going to walk you through the journey firsthand as I try to sell a 3D printed end-use product online. So when you buy it, I print it and have it shipped to your door, never mass manufactured. I'm going to be completely transparent through this experience, sharing everything from marketing tactics, conversions, and profit margins with you. In this episode, I meet my producer of the podcast, Alan Bush, for the first time at a bar in San Diego. You guys get to sit in on the conversation while I tell him a little bit about my story, the journeys I've went through, and a quick outline of 3D printing, prepping him for the pitch, which is going to be an episode coming up next where I describe in detail what lean business is and how I plan on proving this concept to you guys live on the air every week. This episode is brought to you by 3D Hubs, an online community that connects you with the nearest 3D printer in your community so you can get started even if you don't have a printer. So here we go, hold on tight. This is gonna be an experience and I have no idea where we're gonna end up.
I'm here with
John Bokla.
John Bokla. He and I go way back, about 20 minutes. And I just met him today. He's an awesome guy already. I already dig him. He's got a business venture. He came all the way here from Vancouver. So tell a little bit about what brought you here and what you're doing here at Wonderland in OB.
Yeah, it's been a journey, man. It came from a lot farther than Vancouver. I drove here from Fort St. John, northern British Columbia.
Whoa, that's all the way up. So British Columbia is all the way the other side of Canada. We're in California.
It's North BC.
Oh, okay.
It's way up north. It's like...
Oh, okay, but it's on the left coast, right? On the west coast?
West side,
side of Canada. Okay, I'm getting things confused because I was thinking of like Halifax and Toronto
so I Googled
area.
it, and I Googled how far it was from here to San Diego and then converted it to miles, and it's 2,222 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in at least San Diego. I'm guessing California with snow tires on right now.
You still got your snow tires on?
I still got the snow tires on. Yeah, I just got in the car and just came. I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. And you told me earlier you had this hunch that you were gonna be you just left and just came here.
Yeah, I had a hunch, the same hunch, about 8 months ago, and so I was teaching kids 3D printing, a small cohort of kids at the Bigelow Science Center in Kamloops, BC. Small town, 100,000 people in interior British Columbia. I wanted to make it here, and I only made it to Vancouver. I moved to Vancouver, started couch surfing. I went to some business networking events. I met an old lady who's like, "Oh, I'm going away for 2 weeks. I need someone to water my plants." I'm like, I love watering plants. Did I tell you how much I love watering plants? I love watering plants. So then that led into another. So I house sat all summer in Vancouver. And so it was a comedic journey, and I wanted to launch my curriculum online, and I saw my runway coming up. I moved up north to Fort St. John, British Columbia, way up in the gates of hell. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's
Frozen
not
hell.
pretty, man. Like, so cold that at the grocery store, 3/4 of the cars are running. Because, like, when you come out, you don't want to be in that. It's too cold.
It's cold.
Unbearably cold if your car wasn't running still.
Wow.
So,
I haven't been. I'm from Massachusetts, which is on the other side of the United States, and I haven't been in that kind of cold in a very long time.
Man, it's good to be in San Diego.
That's what I'm saying, man. Look where we are now. It's like still warm, even if it's like a storm, quote unquote, a storm's coming, but it's like people still wearing short sleeves and hanging out. It's ridiculous.
Right? And then, so from there, I worked on the oil rig as a safety hand, basically checking gas monitors. And my checks, I could work on my business and developing my curriculum for the kids. And so I came up with a high quality product that I'm like ready to ship. And so I'm real excited. So now after that, I had a little bit of money in my pocket. I'm running low again. But, student debt's just, man, it doesn't make it easy on us.
I know.
This generation coming up, it's like,
Yeah.
what are you, like, you're handcuffed. You
Yeah.
have to go, but then
But then you're tethered to that debt.
Man,
Yeah,
tough.
it's ridiculous. I feel bad for it. I mean, I'm still in it myself, but I'm just making a living and kind of avoiding paying
Right.
everything, you know.
I just saw an article in Canada where they're threatening if you don't pay your student debts, you can't get your license renewed at the license renewal place.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's like,
oh my god.
Anyways,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
another story for another
Then
day.
then it just, well, jeez. Yeah, you might have to be political intrigue. Yeah.
So then, so now I'm here and I'm about to launch this 3D printing curriculum. It's an interactive ebook with like videos embedded in it with me, and I outline every command in every toolbox that you need to know in a free software, Autodesk 123D design.
Wow.
And at the end, there's 10 interactive lessons that the students walk through that I've designed in such a way that they learn almost every command as they go through the lessons.
Oh, okay.
So the book is just a referral system if they have a question, an in-depth question on a certain command.
So were you involved in the 3D printing world for a while? How did you learn it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so I was taking architecture engineering,
Yeah.
and I saw how inefficiently computer-aided design was taught.
Yeah.
So like when someone has a question or the computer crashes or something, the whole class has to stop. Everyone's sitting there with their thumbs up their butts, and then
I love that phrase.
Yeah, and then so sometimes when it even worse is you don't something happens on your computer, you fall behind, and you don't ask a question because you don't want to slow the class down,
Yeah.
right? And
Right,
then so you just miss that lecture, and like it was taught so inefficiently, that for the first year you have with your mouse you have 3 navigation options. You can zoom in and out.
Yeah.
You can orbit around it, or you
Yeah.
could pan. I didn't even know that you could pan. You know what I mean? Like that was never
Yeah,
taught.
I have a little bit of 3D background,
Yeah.
and those are one of the things I kind of just learned by messing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should be teaching that first 101. Right?
That's in the chapter
Yeah,
1.
there's 3 dimensions.
Right? Yeah, you got to know that, and it's just it's hard to rely, and especially when you start looking forward at how are we going to teach kids 3D printing in schools.
Right.
It's hard to teach teachers to teach it. You know, it's not impossible.
That's a good point. It's like
You know?
teaching teachers how to teach.
Right.
I mean, it sounds redundant, but it's like one of those things that I think is really critical for any curriculum.
And it's so new, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
And
teachers.
the thing is, what
overwhelming
I've
for
learned-
teachers to even think about.
Right. What I've learned is that people, just because you're good at certain things doesn't mean you know how to teach it. I think a lot of people who become managers or teachers, just because they have a base knowledge in something,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they know how to communicate that knowledge.
Right.
And there's the difference.
Yeah,
So
exactly
it sounds
right.
like you're really big on the actual education and like conveying that somewhere.
Yeah, kind of, and that's a great point. It's like kind of like sometimes the best players aren't good coaches.
Exactly. Right.
You know,
Exactly.
like Gretzky's one of the greatest hockey players ever,
Yep.
but he tried to be a coach and it didn't work.
It didn't work. He's like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah, right. Amazing guy, amazing Canadian, but yeah, and so that's the thing with me, and the kind of to use it in context with another example, I wakeboard, not so much anymore, but when I was young, I learned to wakeboard,
Oh.
and man, I was a badass teacher when I first learned.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, hey, these are the details you're gonna go through. These are the issues you're gonna deal with. This is what's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like a few years later, I was trying to teach someone. I was like, just hold on the rope and like sit down, like just get up. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's lost in my memory those tough things that I went through.
because they're so simple to you, but
Yeah.
you forgot how to convey those things. It's like teaching someone to walk for the first time.
Right.
You know, it's like intuitively, just get up and walk. Like, what are you talking about? Why
Yeah.
you need to walk? Like, just stand up. And they're like, I don't know that part. You know, so you got
Exactly,
it's like teaching babies. You know,
Baby steps for
baby
sure,
steps.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then so I've also tried to like incorporate how I would want to learn if I was a kid.
That's a good point
You know what I
too.
mean?
Yeah,
And 'cause,
yeah,
like really, my competition is video games.
yeah.
My competition is not like other teachers. My competition is not like. My competition is like video games. What is going to grab these kids' attention?
Right, right.
And so I've tried to make it so it's like the videos are slick. There's whiteboard animation everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm acting like a clown. You know, there's bloopers in it, and like so I've tried to make it engaging so the kids actually want to watch it.
yeah, yeah.
And then through the journey, we learn about like, in one of the lessons, we learn about symmetry. So I have like whiteboard animation about how symmetry works. This lesson is a spinning top. So we learn about, how your fingers apply a linear force into an angular force, start the spinning. Inertia and equal opposite forces pulling against each other keeps it spinning, and friction slows it down and eventually makes it tip over. And then I give them the design principles and lesson, step by step, how to do it.
Yeah.
And then when they get it back, they actually get to hold it, reflect on their experience, what worked, what didn't work, and
Yeah.
kind of go through that deeper level of learning, right? And
Yeah.
again, at their own pace, building their own confidence, doing
Right,
their own
right.
thing, entertaining them. and-
Sure. What you sounded like right now is like a clay wheel.
Yeah.
Like when you spin that clay wheel and it's actually moving around,
Yeah.
and then you kind of teach them how to, like, it's almost like that.
And I think the interesting thing about 3D printing is that it relays that virtual world into the physical world.
Right.
Which is a very powerful concept for the next generation to think about.
Yeah.
Because there's so Oculus Rift coming out, virtual reality.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's
Yeah.
like you can't fight it. It's like people are like, oh, I don't like that, but it's like,
Dude.
yeah, maybe I don't like it either, but
Yeah.
can't change it. So
People didn't like MP3s when they came out because they wanted CDs, and so,
Yeah.
but too bad. That's the new future. You got to
Right?
deal with it. So like now
Right?
you got to embrace
like
those
people
things.
trying to
happening.
shut down the automotive industry because they
Yeah.
can't sell horseshoes anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
like, it's going to change.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I think it's a powerful technology that's going to bring them from and train their mind
Yeah.
to work in the physical world through the digital space.
It is. One of the things I like about it is that it does have that kind of gap between the physical and the computer realm, because you can actually see the fruits of your labor out there. It's not on a 2D print, like a 2D printer. You can see designs that you've made in color and all that stuff, and it's okay, great. It looks awesome. I can print something out, print business cards out. I can print menus out, I guess. But with 3D, you can actually hold the item
man.
and interact with it. You can build something that you can fit on your hand, or you build something that fits on your wrist.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do now. Like when I heard of 3D printing technology, I was like, what are you talking about, printing 3D? I didn't understand that concept. And then when I saw it like kind of being built, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you can create things. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you put it on the printer, and all of a sudden it makes whatever you thought of. That's
Yeah, man.
incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, and it's like you can change it then and redo it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and there's
Right.
no penalty for There's no penalty for your design
Yeah.
change, right? It's like to build for context, it costs about 10 cents to print in material a cell phone case on a printer,
On a printer.
that you'll buy. That you'll start to see them soon in like retail stores.
No kidding.
And it costs about 10 cents a material to print a cell phone case. So if you design something and you hold it and you're like, you know what, if I small thing, it could be a lot better.
Yeah.
That's like under $1.
Right. Yeah.
And like then you press print and you drink another beer. Right? It's like it's amplifying our ability.
Yeah.
To, you know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
what it's doing, and people are afraid of it. But it's
because the people that reason why people are afraid is that inevitably someone will abuse it. But just like anything, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like anything.
It's so
A hacker is abusing the ability to go onto computers and mess with emails or whatever. So, like, any technology, any kind of thing that advance human race will be exploited on some level by some idiot, you know.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that millions of other people couldn't use it to benefit the good of
Yeah.
mankind. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, you just got to teach people how to use it.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah,
benefits
with the
of
good
it.
come the bad, and like
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I remember when I was a kid, and my parents told me I couldn't go on the internet because I was going to get abducted on the playground. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, okay.
That's a bit of a stretch, Mom.
Right.
I just want to check
Yeah.
my email and look at
Right?
Facebook and
Yeah, check out what this thing's all about.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so it's going to be an interesting transition as we start to move forward.
Yeah.
I believe that they're going to come up, it's going to empower them to turn ideas into reality and create inventions that we need for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That potentially maybe we might have made some mistakes along the way and we might need a problem solved
Right,
in 10
right.
years from now that we
Right.
don't know.
Yeah.
But because these kids are able to innovate quickly, easily, and cheap,
Yeah.
they can do it. And so it's like, I think it's important. That's
It really
not doing
is.
it.
No, you're right. And it's like you're educating the future of America or Canada or the world. And
Yeah.
then and really empowering them and
Yeah.
giving that ability. And I think that's important to convey the positiveness of that. And it's a really great that you're actually kind of stepping in that direction, because you're going into the education field, really.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
an education in technology.
For
And
sure.
so building an ebook and in a curriculum, do you are you building like a you say interactive curriculum?
Yeah.
Is it like is it PDF Or is it
Yeah.
like a website, or
Yeah.
what? How do you do that?
I'm testing. Still.
You're doing different
Yeah.
ones. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm testing still. We'll see. But I'd like to step back quickly, and then I'd love to talk about that.
Yeah.
But when we talk about educating, another partnership that I've made is a good friend of mine, Taylor Conroy. He's founded a company called Change Heroes.
Oh, okay.
So how Change Heroes works is you find 33 of your friends to donate $3.33 for 3 months. So $3.33 for 3 months, you and 33 of your friends, and you guys build a school.
Huh.
So you fundraise enough money to build a school, you get to follow the building process, and you get certificates and amazing things. And so you send out personal video files, and so he's built over 120 schools so far, and
Really?
he's growing. Yeah, man, it's an awesome
Wow.
concept. And so a portion of every sale I make through my platform is going to go towards Taylor to help build more schools.
Well, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And was there a website where you can go to see that one?
ChangeHeroes.com.
Change Heroes?
ChangeHeroes.com, yeah.
Wow.
You can go to start building your team and building your own school.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
He's built that many already.
Yeah. And
That's
so
really cool.
He's hoping big, and same for me, this is just the beginning, to educate these kids on 3D printing. 3D design is what I'm teaching. That's only the beginning. I really hope that I can transition into a way to use 3D printing as a medium for education.
Sure.
So, my brother didn't do well in school, and he lost a lot of confidence. He got bullied.
Yeah.
He had a tough time growing up, but now he's 22 years old. Ever since he left high school, he's killing it.
Right.
Killing it, right?
Yeah.
He's got his own house now. He's one of the biggest beauties I know in my life. And
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
But the school system was tough on him.
Right.
And I'm not saying what I'm doing is right for everyone, but
Yeah.
one of my next lessons that I'm aiming to do is flight.
Flight.
So
Okay.
aerodynamics and flight.
Oh, okay.
And so the first lesson is we're going to do a model of the Wright brothers plane. Right?
Yeah.
So we're actually going to learn what principles the Wright brothers learned that allowed them to create human-manned flight.
That sounds really cool.
Right? And
Yeah.
then how that invention led to the next one, that led to the next one,
Yeah.
that led to the next one. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach history through a medium of 3D printing.
That's really interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And then kids can go at their own pace and I wasn't that smart kid who was way ahead of everyone, but I know there are smart kids, right?
Yeah. I know smart people.
Yeah.
And can exploit them.
Yeah. Help them all. Help them along.
Yeah.
right?
No, it's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Be the catalyst for them. Yeah.
And so I can't remember where we're going next. I was really excited to talk about it. But
So we were talking about the medium which you use to convey this stuff. I mean, you're saying you have an ebook, but it's like there's certain you're combining technologies. You're obviously not going to print out everything and then show them to them. You have a way to convey how to print these things. So what is the medium that you're using mostly?
Yeah, so when I've taught a cohort of students through in person, and what I found was step-by-step instructions were very crucial to the process. But they also wanted to see it done very efficiently and be able to go back through the videos. And so, again, I tried to design it in a way that I would want to get taught. And so I've found myself re-watching a lot of videos that I've seen before to really ingrain them in my head. So I think video is very important.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how it works is right now it's an interactive PDF. The videos are embedded in the PDF. And then following the video is step-by-step instructions.
Okay.
So it's designed so the kids can watch the video. All of them except for one are under 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
The one that isn't is the Minecraft sword.
Oh.
So we do a Minecraft sword. It's a pendant that they can wear around their neck, and I teach them how to engrave their name into it. Yeah. So it's I think that's the one that I'm allowed to do a little longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And actually, at the end
an
of
outcome.
Yeah. And at the end of that video, I feature Taylor.
Okay.
That's where I've made my announcement of the partnership with Taylor and Change Heroes.
Yeah.
So again, what I'm trying to teach kids is I'm so much more than 3D design.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I feature 2 different companies through the first curriculum that are social entrepreneurship companies.
Okay.
So the first one is Ten Tree Apparel.
Yeah.
If you buy a shirt from Ten Tree, they plant 10 trees.
No kidding.
Yeah. So they've already planted over 1 million trees.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's you as a consumer ability to support the planet or the people that need the support.
Exactly.
And it's just, we need to teach the next generation that they have the power.
And to utilize what they know in technology and things of that nature. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, totally makes sense because there's so many people out there that need to be doing those nonprofits and making those things happen. And
and the beautiful thing about it, and I'm going to really fight you on that word you just used, nonprofits, because that's a word it's amazing. Like, the people that run nonprofits are like the best people on the planet. But it's important to realize that you can make businesses that help the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Dude, you're speaking my language, man.
Yeah.
I totally think that's the case because when that word nonprofit comes up, you think of not making any money. And it's like, well, wait a minute. No, you can make money off of doing this, but why not use some of what you're doing and recycle that back into helping the planet and make a profit?
The people who really need it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because
you'd be more motivated if you're like, I'm making a ton of money and helping the planet, and every dollar I make helps the planet.
Right?
Why not? Yeah.
Right? Everybody wins. And I think that principle on its own, if we can help grow that idea, that will help a lot of the sustainability issues that are coming ahead. Because technology is pushing forward and technology is helping.
Yeah.
But consumers have the power.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And we need to understand that.
Yeah.
And the future generation of entrepreneurs need to understand that they have the ability to do that. And I hope that in the future, if you're not a business that's supporting the people or the planet, that people will look at you and be like, I don't want to work with you.
Exactly. Like, you become the outlier. Like, oh, you're weird. Like, why are you not helping the planet right now? Everyone needs to help the planet.
Right.
And that becomes a more popular trend to do. Instead of exploiting the resources and using fossil fuels or whatever it is, now you're shunned upon by doing those tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? That would be ideal. That's like utopia right there,
Yeah, and I get blamed for being utopian at times, but I'd way rather be utopian than dystopian. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Why not? Why not have those ideals? Someone's got to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every thought counts. Everything that you think matters.
Yeah.
And let's try to. And for the first time, we're connected everywhere on the planet.
Everyone's connected. This is the thing. I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for email and So it's like, you wouldn't have been down here if it wasn't for those things. And you mentioned Airbnb and a few other places. We're all interwoven with each other.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to figure these things out.
Yeah.
And talk with the resources and not rely on government or whatever to tell us what these things are, and make our own changes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the world we should be living in. So what I'm hearing from you is that you're really want to get into education. 3D printing is just one conduit into that.
Yeah.
But you really want to develop education programs and people teach people how to utilize technology.
Yeah, I think my company is gonna really aim to focus on the world of 3D printing, and how to use 3D printing as a medium for different avenues.
Yeah.
My podcast, which will talk about how 3D printing is going to change the way we do business.
Yeah.
Because the computer changed everything.
Sure.
Sure. And 3D printing is a technology that you press a button and it makes a physical object.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly.
And they're printing steel, brass, bronze, ceramics.
That's what I'm hearing is that it's not just even printing. It's sometimes they'll take a piece of metal and shape it into something. So there's sometimes you can print something using a liquid like a plastic or even a liquid metal in some degree.
I don't know how it's going to work in the future, but I think it's going to be 3D printing will be incorporated into injection molding machines. It'll be one machine that can make almost anything out the other end of it through different pieces and facets of it.
Right.
And so 3D printing is you can print the mold that then gets injection molded, or you can 3D print the end use product.
Right.
And I think as the HP's coming out with a printer that's going to be 10 times faster and runs cheaper
right.
than anything on the market in 2016.
That's so funny, yeah.
So it's like that's going to it's going to revolutionize how we use the technology in business. It will.
Right.
The timeline is set.
Yeah.
It's going to change. You know what I mean? It's like
pretty much, yeah. And it's going to be faster than we even think it's going to be.
Yeah. And so then after that, HP's coming to the field. Dremel just came out with one.
Yeah.
Canon just announced a partnership with 3D Systems. It's like it's coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming.
Yeah.
So like
Well, there it is. Episode 1 in the books, left behind us in the dust. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're excited for episode 2, The Pitch, where I pitch Alan on what I think the details of lean business really look like. And I also reveal the end-use 3D printed object that we're going to try to sell. So I hope you're excited. Come join us for the next one. And if you think we're onto something, join the conversation in the comments. Oh, hey, wait, guys, before you leave, I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you, I'm giving away a free Robo 3D printer. You can enter by going to i3dcreatives.com. You'll see the entry on the top right corner. Come on inside and you'll see another video of me. Can't wait to see you there. Have a good one, guys. See ya.